Thanks. So after the rather deep dive technical talk we just had, this is also because I don't have the time for technical details. This is more of a ideas talk, sort of to get your mind going to sort of think about how we can build software that's actually much better for humans than what we do right now, or at least sort of what the majority of programs do right now. I'm Jonas Kruckenberg. I'm part of the Tauri working group. I also do R&D and dev rally things at Crab Nebula. I'm not going to really talk about any of that. This is more of a personal passion project of mine right now. We'll see. And I brought you a picture. And the question is, how does this make you feel? And this is a panel, or rather two panels, from the 1989 manga Blame. And it's depicting a megastructure called the city. And the city is practically infinite and a result of out-of-control AI that just builds infinite hellscapes of things that look like a city, that the AI thinks would be something that humans live in. And it features things like, infinite chasms and impractical, absolutely absurd, like stairs. And it really makes you feel small and insignificant. And it's what you would call a non-place. Because the city is dead, crucially. No one really lives in it. No one can live in it. It is a hostile place, like a place hostile to humans. And a non-place is defined as a place we do not live in, we cannot live in, and in which you as a person remain anonymous and lonely and as an individual. First and sort of originally coined by French anthropologist Marc Augé, not really sure, don't know any French. And it was meant to describe structures like this, like parking lots, like places that are not like designed for human inhabitation. And like a parking lot is the best example because it's literally not designed for humans. It's designed for cars, right? And with sort of brutalism fading out of the favor of architects and moving more and more to different styles of architecture, we have kind of realized that this kind of architecture is actually really bad for humans, as you could probably imagine. Yet, crucially, this realization has not really crept into the space of UI design and software architecture. Sort of all or most of the interfaces, the computer interfaces we're surrounded with on a daily basis have the same artificial, clinical, and pristine look of absolute perfection, right? And that kind of makes you as a human confined to this, regulated space, makes your human expression be confined to this small little fenced-off area where you can actually sort of express yourself. It's individualism that can be neatly stored in a table, right? And now think about if you were to live in this space on a daily basis, if this was your home, what would that do with you, right? What would that do to your brain? What if you were born in such a place and were raised in it? What would that do to your creativity, right? And while sort of research on that is still a bit thin, there are good indications that this kind of constraint actually shapes the way we think about, being creative, think about solving problems. And the question is really, how can we make software that's not parking lots, right? What now? And so this is what I've been working on and off for the last 2 years-ish. And I gave it a name now. Actually, I gave it a name 2 days ago. And I call it Chord because, extensions and chord. And what it really is, it's an extension runtime and a couple tools sort of around that really make it easy to have extensibility in your app. Because that's sort of one of the things we realized with local first, right? Let's just make the architecture very simple. And extensions is not really simple. And so the idea is, okay, let's provide out-of-the-box drop-in tools that you can just use to have extensibility, and like have them be as much drop-in as possible, because like you can never be fully drop-in, of course. It's written in Rust and makes heavy use of WebAssembly. That's more because I come from a security background, really, and that just makes me happy to have like secure and performance stuff. What I've been experimenting with as of late is a bit of no-code sort of thrown in the mix, because WebAssembly is cool. You can target it with every language that compiles to like through LLVM and a couple more. It can also run JavaScript. But as an end user, what is LLVM? No idea. What is JavaScript? Most people also don't know any JavaScript, right? So having sort of a no-code thing, that's what I've been experimenting with. And then also kind of fun, persisting extensions that are running, right? What if I can just take my running app, just store it on disk, and then restore it? Don't even need my database if I can just take the whole program and store it to disk. Yeah, so what I really want to sort of ingrain in you is that local first and extensions really goes hand in hand. It's like a cool fit. Because fundamentally, local first is about ownership and empowerment, right? It's about owning your data and empowering you to do more with that data. And as sort of, I guess, most of us sort of building tools, right? It's also important that through extensions, you can let your users adapt, modify, transform their tools to fit sort of their workflow, fit their needs better. Also, accessibility. And then lastly, longevity. One thing that we see sort of with operating systems, for example, which are just software that can be extended, right? Having extensibility, i.e. apps, with your software makes it vastly more useful and like for a longer time, right? Also, something we see with games, right? Modding for games drastically increases the lifespan of games. Like Minecraft, for example, would not be interesting to anyone. But like mods really sort of help with games. And with sort of the architecture that we've been building with local first, this comes at no cost to you as the application developer, right? Because like all the code runs on the user's machine anyway. If a user wants to run 10 Bitcoin miners on their machine, like, sure, don't care. And lastly, local first is about digital agency. And I think extensions is a really big part of that vision. And I think I'm a bit over time, but that's it.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Jonas. Yeah, I love that. I think like local first can be really like a foundation for like a whole new generation of like new software that's less sterile, more weird, like more like where you can express yourself, like where you can build tools just for you, your family, your friends, or whatever. Bring down the cost of building those tools, like making them for you, making those for humans. Love that. Thank you so much, Jonas.